All right, and welcome to another episode of Fork It. I am Justin Garrison, and we're gonna do some open source today. This live stream slash podcast I'm trying to do it weekly. So far, I got 3 weeks in a row, so we're in a good spot for it. And today, we're going to be looking at an open source project of mine, and it's an old project from a couple years ago. I started it, and there's been a bug that I never fixed, and it stopped me from using it, and I want to solve that problem. And so today we're going to try to solve that problem. This is probably going to be the first podcast slash live stream where I don't fix it within the window of a live stream. I try to do the stream for about an hour to 2 hours, somewhere in there. But I don't expect it to actually be solved in that time, because the last time I worked on this bug, I remember working on it for weeks and I never solved it. And so we'll see where this goes. Let me go ahead and get my screen over here, because I did want to follow up with a couple things from previous weeks. Transition, where'd you go? I need to set up my Stream Deck, not my Steam Deck, my Stream Deck, and center my camera a little better too, so that I can actually push buttons and do these things in OBS. I did fix my audio. Sorry, last week the audio was terrible. I figured out what the problem was. The new OBS that I was using, which I showed in the live stream, had dual mics, so it was picking up my voice twice, and so hopefully this week sounds a lot better. And so here's the very first Fork It podcast stream, whatever. This is the PR. I did go back this week and I added a couple tests. Someone requested, hey, can you add tests for this? And so I added a few lines here about, the naming for the services, which was the regex that I was adding. So we added that to a test, which also removed the looks good to me label, because we already had that as someone, let me bump that up too, as someone gave us the LGTM, but then after I added it, someone asked for tests, and then so we removed it. It ran tests again. Now I'm waiting for someone else to come through and flag it. So that was the first one. Last week we had 2. Both of those have been merged. Just a heads up for when this happens, I was able to add a couple pages to TLDR and a couple linting things. Some people had a lot of comments on just wording, which is great. They gave me suggestions, which I really love on GitHub, because it's not like, oh, can you go do this thing and then go commit it and go do this other thing. It's like, no, actually just here's the thing I would like you to change. Leave a comment if you like it, or accept it, or don't. And so I'm able to, as their formatting and style wanted, I just accepted those pretty much. But there was a handful of them that people requested, and I was like, great, this is awesome. And they even were overriding each other on some points, but that's okay, because it's their project. So we got both of those merged in. So if you run, where's my terminal now? TLDR systemd repart. You get that's the thing that I added last week, and that's awesome. It just works. It's in there already. It does that lookup. Everything's ready to go. So that's cool. So today's project is a project I call K. And it's based on Kubernetes. Everyone aliases kubectl to K. And I was like, well, what if we had a better K? What if there was another way to use that command? And I kept having a problem of, I wanted to run commands across multiple clusters. I wanted to see the difference between pods and different clusters, either different regions or context, or even different namespaces. Hey, I tested something in this namespace, it's not working in this other one. How would that work? And so I came up with this K wrapper that wraps around kubectl, and it adds a couple symbols to the command line prompt to give you dynamic context namespace switching, and also allows you to combine some of those things. So the symbols I came up with were, I have to remember some of this too, because this was last updated 3 years ago. I had 2-year update for Gitpod developments, but I haven't touched it really for 3 years. So plus is context. So if I want to switch my context, on the fly without actually changing the config file, I could do that. If I want to change the cluster, I could do an @ symbol. And if I want to change the namespace, I could do a colon. And you normally can do namespace, that's not a problem. But with this syntax, I can add multiple. So I could do colon, namespace, colon, namespace, and I could run it in parallel across 2 namespaces. That was the idea. I also get some environment variables here that I frequently wanted to change per shell, because I keep all of my cube configs in different files. I don't like one context that is globally shared. So my .cube/config file is usually symlink to devnull. I don't want things writing there. I don't want to use that by default. I don't want any assumptions about what context I have there. All of my other kubeconfig files are stored as separate files under my .cube folder. And that's just how I've always done it. And that allows me to export kubeconfig per terminal. So I could have one terminal in one cluster, the other terminal in a different cluster. But I still couldn't have things like one cluster always under a certain namespace and the other one under a different namespace. And so that's why I added these environment variables that are red that I can quickly add. And all it's doing is literally just adding it to the actual command line. Before it runs, it wraps kubeconfig and it sends another namespace. And my kubeconfig variable, one of the things that I really liked that most people don't know about is kubeconfig can actually be multiple files, and it concatenates all of them, and it finds when I do something like an @prod in this example, it will concatenate all the files together, and the first cluster it finds that says prod, that's the one it uses. So you can't have multiple overlapping names, but it has been working. It was working for me great. And so I even say like you should alias. Usually people alias kubecontrol to K, and I thought I had it in here that you should alias K to kubecontrol. And so here's, you can see I export cube namespace and K get pods. It'll actually add the namespace cube system. I can do prod, and it does a context prod. So all it's doing is using the same variables that are there. I'm gonna turn down this music a little bit. I did decide to use music this time, just as some background. For anyone that is curious, I use Pretzel Rocks, which is a like music for streaming. I paid for it for a while. I haven't paid for it this year, mainly because I wasn't doing live streams. So if you like live stream music, that's one I've been using. Please leave me a comment if you have another suggestion. I would love to find other options too. So here's another test. Actually, that would be wrong. @ is cluster. So I think that'd be wrong. But here you can combine them. A plus US East 1 : Nginx. That'll put me in the context of my US East 1 cluster with a namespace Nginx. And I liked having them combined. That was causing a lot of problems for tab completion. But these symbols that I picked, the plus, the colon, and the @ are not allowed in the kubecontrol naming for things. So it made it really easy to like not have to override them. And here's another example here. I can combine them. So I want a plus US East 1 plus US West 2 in the default namespace and comma Nginx. And that's going to run these 3 commands by adding that. So that was the idea here. And of course, more examples. And then this shows like how kubeconfig works. It's going to crawl the directory and then create that. And I even have a kdebug output because I was needing a lot of debugging with this to be able to, mainly for the like what commands is it running, and tab completion was really not working for me. So that's the idea. I had so I see like one other person opened an error. I can fix that one pretty easily. Here's bash tab completion. No, I didn't get it working. Wait, yes I did. Completion bash. Here's what I was doing for tab completion. I was sourcing the initial tab completion from whatever kubecontrol command you had. And then I was replacing it to BK. because that's just like the whole thing, export it out, replace all the cube control stuff with K. People often do that when they have the alias anyway. Like this is a normal thing that people are doing so that they get K tab completion for all their stuff. Then I was adding these special, I call them K-space parameters that allowed you to tab complete on these other things. So I could do the @ and the plus, and this was context and clusters, and I would tab complete those. I have to remember how I did a lot of this stuff. Parse get template. This was some of the more complex bash that I've written, because you start getting into these weeds of like where these variables come from, all this parameter expansion. I was getting templates, and then I had config. I was modeling a lot of this off of what existed in Cube Control. Handle the K space. Set some local variables. Okay, and here's my colons. Okay, and so here's my, if it's a colon plus, I have star colons. I have all these things that I need to handle. Oh, and I have to redeclare this root command, which is a pain because this root command comes directly from Cube Control output. But I needed to add my own overrides somewhere to like my context and that sort of stuff. So this wasn't maintainable. I knew that going into it, but I was hoping to do this part dynamically based on which version of Cube Control you had. A lot of the Cube Control uses Cobra, which is a command line utility that generates a lot of the stuff for you. I believe a lot of the completion commands don't use Cobra generation anymore. I think a lot of it uses internal native Cube Control commands now, which was actually one of the things I'll show you in a minute. K handle word to add K space characters. Wow, so I don't remember any of this, but let's actually just try to run it and see. And I will go back to issues. So ZSH tab completion was the one that I couldn't do. November 2020 is when I kind of realized this is not going to be possible for me, because Cube Control tab completion at the time was using bash compatibility layer, and so it wasn't actually tab completing with native ZSH code. It was using bash completion, and so this moved all bash custom completions to Go, and so this made it all native. And so now I didn't have a bash compatibility layer because there was this whole thing I couldn't do, because when it would export a ZSH completion, it would say, oh, by the way, this is all bash actually, and ZSH would work in bash mode, and I couldn't override a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do. And so this moved all of our ZSH completion over to native code. And so if we go look at some of those, they changed 37 files, and let's find git comp git resource list. And so there's just a bunch of newer things that they did that natively call back into Cube Control to get the thing that they needed, instead of generating a bunch of bash, which is here. Like this is a bunch of bash outputs that they had to replace, and they had to figure out how this worked. They like deleted a ton of this stuff. So deleting bash, writing Go, probably good. So my goal here is I probably either need to import whatever version of Cube Control I want into K to make it valid with whatever version of Cube Control is there. And I need to write my own bash or Go completion for the functions that I want. And I think if I do those two things, I think my completion will work. We will see. And this is also the first day I'm going to try using some ChatGPT. I just upped to ChatGPT 4. I haven't used ChatGPT for development. I used Copilot for a little while. We'll see if it helps. I've never used ChatGPT 4 for development. So all things we're going to try to do today. or at least get started. So I have K checked out. I have it here. Let's go ahead and just run it. Let's go into bash. What? Oh yeah. No. Why won't that run? What? Why am I still using? What? Oh, I don't have a bin bash? Does that work? No. I don't know why I can't get out of this. Let's go other terminal. Bash. Nope. What? That's fairly weird. Yeah. Let's get a login. Bash shell. Nope. I have no idea why I can't get into bash. That's weird. Let's get out of this box. Stro box. Enter Ubuntu. Echo shell. What? Okay, that's weird. No idea. Wait, I want to get out of Ubuntu. Get out of Ubuntu. And now I can't clear. What the heck is going on? Just go away. All right. Okay, so I have this default output that I wrap. And so instead of all the way down at the bottom, I have a help output. I threw this whole thing in like basically one file too, just because I didn't want to split it up until I had to. Keep things simple if possible. So here we go. So I have a usage function. If you don't send any arguments, you get my K outputs, which shows those examples that I had, like some of these examples, as well as normal like output. If I do anything else, I'm supposed to get output. What? Oh my gosh, already? This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Using kubeconfig, so we can see here it's generating my entire kubeconfig. Running kubecontrol version. Why do I get no output? Is my standard out not passing? Running, here we go. Run kubecontrol. Oh, I know what I did. Where is... I had an old commit here that I think was broken. I also use kube color. Okay, so now it's installed. There we go. Nope. K version. There. Error loading config kubectx. Okay, so I do need to ignore that because someone gave me that bug already. Oh, so it's trying to validate it. So I'm gonna ignore that real fast. I have a walk. Everything in here, everything in. So we're building our kubeconfig. Kubeconfig string. Oh, if I already have a kubeconfig set, like I don't do this entire walk. This is just like, hey, if you don't tell me what you want, we're gonna go ahead and walk the whole path. If it's a directory, skip it. If it's, oh, here we go. So I have this ignore list already. Info dot name equals kubectx. CTX. So that we have all of those we're going to skip if it's a directory or if it's named any of those things. I should have move main to K. Running version loaded CTX still failed. What? Where's my, like, it's AI config. Oh, and I don't want those lock files either. There it is. Why did you not ignore it? Cube CTX and cube NS. I gotta fix this first. Walk cube. Let's see here. Just make this a little easier to read. I'll split this up some other time. Info dot name. We don't want to go into there either. Do I need to put it here? Does that work? There we go. Okay. Lookup. Why am I doing this lookup? Oh, so I want K. Cool. Do that. I don't pass it, do I? That's why. Do I do a lookup every time? Because I don't want to pass it around. I should set it as a global. We'll set it as a global variable later. Where are you? Back to my walk. Oops. Didn't work. Skipping directory without errors. Cache. That's cubeNS. Oh. Does it require it? And it is directory and. Haha. Those are directories we're skipping and not files. So that's what we need to do. I need to pull this part out. Is directory and that. How do I group that? I think that works. We'll say, I don't know if you can still see. Let me make sure the stream is right. Yeah, we're good, right? So if it's named cubed.ctx, if the file's named cubed.ctx, I want you to skip it. Or this whole block. If it's a directory, and the directory's name, cache, ADB cache, or cubeNS. We'll skip those things. And then we print our debug. Let's fix that bug first. Oh, build. Okay, there we go. Client version, customized version, underneath Connect server. That's fine. And our kube config has this AI cluster config, which, yeah, I want to skip anything with lock in it too, because these locks aren't valid. Info.name contains. Where's contains? If no, I didn't. String. Oh, okay. That's it. String contains. Strings contain. If info dot name contains dot lock. Where are you complaining now? I need another. There you go. That's why. Build. Oh, is that really what it should be? AI. So we're gonna skip lock. This one should still be checked, and this should still walk. What are we looking at? I'm skipping stuff here. Function pass string OS. Walk path. This I should probably update at some point. I'm gonna set it to XDG home, whatever it's called. I think it's home or config. Arguments, skipping directory without errors, skipping. But why do you not get this? And this, and this, and this. Is it only looking for YAML? No. File pass skip. Build. Ooh, what did I miss? Oh. This way. Let me look that up once. Okay, found .cube. You should skip .cube. AI cache, skipping cache, config, found the lock, skipping the lock. But then it doesn't go anywhere else? Okay, so I have a problem with my walk. Walk. Path string error. Wait, that's just my error. Oh, here's my KC string. This is why I'm passing. Build. What do I call it? So I don't have a cube config set and I didn't pass a cube config. So I'm coming here. Isn't generated from all the files. Generate one from all the files in cube. Ignore cache directories. I don't pass a string though. Build cube config. Oh, that's my return. Ha. Sit down. I often now use my treadmill while I work, and it helps me think, I found, but I think it's distracting for a live stream, so I'm not going to do that for anyone watching this video. But thanks for watching. Okay, so I don't actually end up passing anything. I'm returning a string, but this walk is not doing what I expect, and this is definitely going to cause me a problem at some point, but it's fine for me right now. Error walk, and this is the function path string. OS file info error. Let's start with ChatGPT. In Go programming. Okay, should probably blow it up a little more. In Go programming language, how do I walk a tree and loop over every file? Let's see. Let's see what we get. I had 2 people this week tell me they use GPT-4 a lot for developments. So, yep, error file path walk. Path string. That's what we're getting here. Info file info error. Check if it's a file and is not a directory. What do I do if it's a walk? Root to the directory you want to start. Walk from file path walk. Yeah. I don't see it recursively do anything. It's just skipping directories. If it's not a directory, it prints. Info, do it recursively. Come on. I need to know if it's directory. I add it to the visit function is called every. Recursive by default. Oh. Visit. They made a visit function. Path. Directories and this is just saying it's the same. It should. I don't know why my font in VS Code is all messed up. That's really bugging me. My underscores are all collapsed. I probably have a weird theme. All right, so let's go back in here. File path walk. How does that? So we have this file path walk here. Root, and they're using this function. Exactly. I get my root there. I printed my names as I'm getting each file. What they do different here is they just do this visit path OS file info, and they walk it. File path walk. So it should be by default. So wait. Wait a minute. Where's my root? Walks everything. Okay. And this should do the same, right? Except for if it's a directory, it doesn't print it. Yeah, walks everything. Oh, wait a minute. No, okay, wait. If it's not a directory, we're printing. There's gotta be something on my match here. Where'd it go? Here. If it's not a directory. If any of those happen, right? Just because of return. How do I return the skip directory? File path. If it's not a directory, because I'm returning it here. File path walk. But I don't want to return in this. Don't break. No, because I need that. I need to return. This returns an error. It's only returning an error. This just prints, it's not returning anything. Do I have a kubeconfig var? Where do I append it here? Here. Else. So here for the first one, it's equal to path. And then everything after that should be appended if it's not a directory. Right? So if I do that, I could see it append everything. But every time when it gets on lock, so that's my first skipped directory. It matched one of these directories and then it skipped on lock there. Oh. I don't want you to do anything. Right? That should work. Don't do anything. There you go. There we go. I don't want to return. What are they doing? What is this output? Oh, no, it kept walking. If it's one of those things. Check if it's a directory up here. If we do nothing there. There. So if it's a directory, we're doing nothing. Else we could append it. Jeez. Not going to get to any tab completion here. So that didn't run. Whoa, what? That's not right. That's definitely not right. I got a lot of stuff in there. Oh. Because it's not actually skipping. Here. I did do that. Here's my ISTER. I'm checking. Oh no, this is all part of one. That's right. If it's a directory and that directory contains any of these words, don't add it. I want to skip it. I think I could separate that out still. Because I want to skip all directories. Okay. Walk. Tray and skip files with the name foo. How do they say? I'm curious now. It's like a, so there you go, return nil. Otherwise we're gonna print, but I don't want to, does that? Does that actually do it? That should probably be bigger, huh? Nope. That's still grabbing all of those directories that have all that cache. So big. Found all these cache files. Skip. What did I say? I said skip directories. I want directories. Bar. Skip directories. If it's a directory and the name, yeah. So that's what I was doing. I had to return file path skipter. Is a directory. Skipter. It's not a directory, name foo, return no. Yep. So in this case, so I gotta clean this up back to how it was. If info dot isdir and let's go back down here. If info dot isdir it's not a directory, we're gonna add it. I'll skip the directory. Oh, so see, that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing a skipter on everything. I need to change that for skipping files. So else if the name is CTX or the name is lock or the name is kubeNS was a directory. You're gonna do nothing. Where'd I? You're blocked there. Do you have too many? Yeah. No? Yes. We could do it in here. This might be easier. Do the check here. And if it's not a directory and it doesn't have that, it doesn't contain that. Exclamation point. Do I need to move that in? Man, these arrow keys are driving me crazy. What's going on? And the name is not CubeCTX, and the name is not, does not contain lock. What do you line up to? You're else, you're if the path, else, you need one more. Close, right? Where do you go? Oh no, you're there. Spent too much time tracking these down. If it's a directory. Or if it's not a directory. Oh, and because I already assumed that's not. Okay. And let's just do it that way. Invalid operation. Duh. Not. Okay. Let's try that. That looks better. No such host. Cool. So I got AI, config. There's the other one. I got my demo, Carpenter demo, Carpenter test, Talos, Ubuntu. Is that everything in there? Probably not. Clusters. See, I don't see a BR GPU. Oh, these are locks. These are lock files. Cool. Yeah, we skipped those. Maybe that worked. Ooh. So much cache. What is that? That's all the HTTP directory. I don't even know what these are. It's different resources. These are all caching. Yeah. Less that, geez. Okay, yeah, cache. Okay, so I think we're good. Hey, that's a good start. I mean, it's like an hour now and I didn't get to what I wanted to, but we fixed another bug. Hey, thanks for joining the live stream. We're trying to fix a bug, some bugs. And I had to reverse my logic here. So we're good on that one. Let's contribute this one. Did I just remove it? Okay. Fix path walking to ignore files. This is my repos, so you know we can pull these in. CTX and other stuff. Fixes. I have a CTX. There we go. Okay, one thing down. Well, we'll go ahead and. Did I not? Oh, you know what? I set a lock on the on that to. I need to fix cube color too. Dang it! So many bugs when you write your own software. I set a lock on it that it needs a review. But I don't have anyone to review with me because this is just my project, so I got to change that setting later. Okay, so okay, there we go. One thing down. We kind of fixed it. We found another to do. Yeah. Function init exact like a path cube control. Oh, I don't set it anywhere. That's why. Cube control binary. I can fix this real quick. If it's set, if it's not set, I don't like VS Code still. I probably I really need to reset up my Vim setup, but if it's not set from that, then we're gonna set it here. So we're gonna look up cube color first. So if I go run cube control binary. Oh, if aren't you global? What am I doing? String. Yeah, you see it, but I use it later. Cyclic path cube control. Oh, I see what I was doing. I did it backwards. In the init. Wait. But all of this is just basically what I do here. Yeah, I was doing the same thing. Oh, I had that switch backwards. Nope. Move my chair back. There we go. If it's not set, it's empty. We're gonna look for it there. I can do this better. I'm never gonna get to tab completion, that's for sure. modify if we have cube control. I don't think I need this. No. What am I doing? Control binary. Say why is it wanting it to be declared? It's not unused. I'm setting it in this context. I need to export it. I don't want to call it function. Yeah. That's what I do. Var cube control. No, I don't need that there. Cube control binary. Inside a main. What? Is it just giving me a... No, declared not used. AC kicked on. I'm cold. All right. What am I? What? Too tired for this. What's going on? Function main. Colors installed. If doesn't set it there because I'm not using it. I'm using cube color. What? Go away. Oh. I mean, why does it have to use it here? What I actually want is here. But it's not. Forget it. I'm not troubleshooting this right now. Exit status. I gotta fix that too. Running cube control version. So that's what prints me the whole command. Else. Why do I hit this twice? OS status. Is my K command run exit status? All right, forget it. I'm not going to debug that. It's mostly working. So if I do work and I say at cart test, does that work? Exact no command. Okay. Arguments passed. Carb test version. Using that. Parsed context. Parsed cluster. Carb test. No command. What? We should have parsed clusters. Debug, looking up the environment variable. So we're in this. I forgot I did this. I'm sorry, Richard. See to parse the string. Yeah. Okay, so we made it here. We get this debug. We got clusters. So maybe cluster, else maybe context, maybe namespace. Where are you used? If maybe cluster. The first one is open. If for each item in the cluster and the namespace on one given case-based temp name, get context. So if maybe cluster is greater than 0, if the length of maybe namespace is greater than 0, and maybe it's just not empty, which is not in this case. So else here. So here we should just run. I have this range over maybe clusters. CL. Get context from cluster. Case-based temp name temp cluster. So this should name it. And then K names make string length over case space for all the case spaces, which should just be one. Return k space and k names. What is this function? Parse cluster. Cluster map k space names. So I added I have a k space. We're in here. Cluster map. Detected multiple args. Oh no, I didn't detect multiple args. It's greater than 1. Else, I only have one cluster map, cluster, first namespace in it. So we're using 1. Args passed. Running cube control. Using cube space, arguments passed. Run cube control. I never got here. I never got to that point of this. This is where I really need to spend the time to learn debugging better. Let's try it. So I think we get here. Yeah, we didn't have a command we sent. How do we... carp test. Did that work? Launch, program, file name, launch. Error building. Go build. Okay. How to... Valuable price, debug, go get it, compile with debug information. Debug path, or if you have a precompiled binary, path to binary. Ensure and deal with. You can set breakpoints, for example, to set a breakpoint in main function. All right, let's try it. What function is this? Is all main? Should replace loop with past args. Append. Oh, I'm not doing that right now. I'm not breaking other things to make you feel good. Maybe cluster 0 is not 1. Yep, maybe cluster range. We did that. DLV K at what did you say? Oh, debug. Now contain package. Oh. Are you serious? No, don't. So it has like a special. What? Package get. Oh, because it's. How do I pass? And pass the arguments. Come on. Oh, I need break. Should have thought of that. Now do you work? Does not contain package. Main module. What does that mean? Module bar does not contain package. Oh, because I'm in the wrong directory. Sometimes I just hate Go. Happy now? No, you're not. Of course you're not. I'm in the right spot. Oh, but I'm not in the stupid Go route. What is it? Where does it want me to put this? Go root Linux what? Does not contain package K. Why is that? Main module does not contain a package. Modules K. Is it? There we go. What'd you do? Running. Hey, now you work? Now you have a command? What? Because I debugged it? Oh. Oh, you're the worst. List. No, Fatal Panic. See, this is in the wrapper. Alright. Print those variables. Call. Continue next. Rebuild, restart, step out, break. Toggle trace, watch, args. Args? How do I dereference? No, that's a panic. Wait a minute, the fact that this... Okay, that timed out. Arguments pass. Okay, so it's when I added that argument. Config, what do I got? Get clusters. Oh, do I need the full name? Oh, that's... Oh, see, colons. Those are accepted. No. Wait a minute. AI... I don't have this cluster anymore. I don't think I have the demo cluster. It was part of EKS control. EKS get clusters. Okay. So there is a Talos cluster. So if I... No commands. Export. Let's do this. EK Talos. So now I have a... Oops. That works. Okay. Setting it works. But my cluster name... I lost my colors. Cube color works there. Wait. Unalias. Okay. That's why, because it's alias twice. Because I like colors. Now it's the actual binary. Get nodes. That works. I'm not getting colored output. Gotta figure that one out too. But my config only shows that as my cluster name. So that's gonna be a problem because I use colons. I need a character that's not usable as a cluster. So if I do okay at that whole thing, nope. See, because it splits it. It splits it on the colon. Oh, so I have to redo. I have to figure out what. Oh. This is going to take a little while. I just got to figure out. Let's see if you know. What are alpha hyphen underscore periods? See, but you have a lot more than that. So if I cluster name, no, is this clusters? Cluster name right there. Why do we name it that way? That's dumb. So what I'd actually want is I would want to get like that is my cluster name every time. Oh, but I have context. My context name. So if I Talos, that works. That works. My context is a shortened name. And then it sends it properly here with the right thing. Oh, no command. Ha, I know why. Because I don't actually have a cluster name of that. I have a context name that. Because if I do get pods, does this actually work? No resources found, right? I don't think I have anything running. But namespace colon cube system, that passed the right thing. I made a new character for namespace. That sucks. But at least I know it does work. My problem was me, obviously. All right, well, we sent one PR and we fixed one bug. I'm gonna have to rework a ton of this stuff to replace out colons as a special character for namespace. Does that, I don't remember if this works. Wait, if I do, and I send namespace, wait, let's get namespace. And does it send it twice? Namespace cube system and namespace. No, it doesn't. Okay, so it. Oh, whoops. Does that work? No. It takes the last appended. It ignores the first one. Okay, well, I'm going to call this stream done. And realizing that I'm gonna have to, if I want to use this with context, I'm gonna have to change out my colons or do some sort of like string matching for the end of the string, right? Because if I look at this, like anything after that / is the cluster name that I actually want. Get context. These are my names. Man, that's me. Nope. So wide. And those are my cluster names here. So the cluster names are pretty much useless as is because of this. garbage. But if I split it on a /, like I don't know how GCP does it. I don't know how Azure does it, but that would be useful for me to go through and split. So maybe I'll do that. It's easier for me to remember cluster names than context names, but we'll see. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for coming. And yeah, we'll keep working on this one. I'll probably work on it next week a little bit. And if I get any more pull requests done, I will let you know next week. So thank you.